Hello everyone, my name is
Hello
Funmilayo
everyone, my name
Shuabi.
is Funmilayo Shuabi.
Welcome back to
Welcome
Biospeaks,
back to Biospeaks,
a place where we talk about
a place where we talk
entrepreneurship
about entrepreneurship
and share inspiring stories that
and
can
share
help you
inspiring
grow
stories that can
your
help you
passion
grow
into a
your
business.
passion into a business.
Today's guest is someone
This
truly
guest is someone
special,
truly
joining us all the
special,
way from
joining us all the
Cameroon.
way from Cameroon.
We have Mah
We have
Ekonde.
Mah Ekonde.
Good day, Ma.
Good day, ma. Good
Thank you
day.
so much for joining
Thank you
us
so much for
today.
joining us today.
It's a
My
pleasure to
pleasure
have
is
you
mine.
here
A
with
pleasure to
us.
have you here with us. Pleasure is mine.
So to begin, could
So
you
to
share a
begin, could you
little story
share a
about your
little story
background
about
and
your
what inspired
background
you to
and what
start the
inspired
journey?
you to start the journey? Okay, so my name is Mah Ekonde, and I am a parent coach and online branding consultant. So, what actually inspired me to start, my online branding and parenting is actually being a mom. Some people say that being a mom can really shatter your dreams and make your life miserable, but somehow being a mom was that thing that made me realize that I need to dream big, do great things, and become the better version of myself. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, wow.
Okay,
How
wow.
was life
How was
before
life
you started the journey?
before you started? Please come again.
How was life before you
How
started
was
the
life
journey?
before you started the journey? Okay, so before I started the journey, I was actually a mom. I became a mom of two, like I was breastfeeding my second child. And
Oh,
now I used to be someone, a young person before when I became to be the kids, like I need to off what I plan to do and just stay one place. So that realization, I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept just being a mom and a wife, which
yeah,
is very good, but I wanted something more. So while searching to do something more, I stumbled on online branding. Like you can actually brand yourself online. So that was like the time that I discovered about online branding, and I grasped it, I learned about it, and I decided to take the first step. Yeah.
Esma, thank you. How do your friends
Yes, ma,
and
thank
family
you.
react when you
How do
decided
your
to
friends and family
take this
react when
very
you
seriously?
decided to take this very seriously? Okay, so actually, when I was telling my husband that I want to do something, I don't want to just stay in the house because he really wants me to be home, be the wife. But I was always disturbing him, telling him that I want to do something better. But I was like, okay, get me a camera, start let me start snapping, doing photography. I want to do this. I'll give him so many ideas. But now when I told him that I wanted to be a parental coach, he somehow embraced it, accepted it, and paid that I should go get the training. And now when I began doing online things, it's true that many people don't yet know me as Mah Ekonde here. Okay, since I use like a different social media account to start all of that, but nevertheless, some still know that it is me that has been branding myself on my social media pages. So they are surprised. Some are pushing me to go ahead. Some don't give a reaction. Yeah, some are just surprised, but yeah, I just keep going.
That's really a good one.
That's
Thank
really
you
a
for
good one.
sharing that with us. It's
Thank you
powerful
for
to see
sharing that
how
with us. It's powerful to
see how passion can grow into a
see
purpose.
how passion
Now
can
let's
grow
talk
into a
about what turned
purpose.
the idea into a real
Now let's
business.
talk about into a real business.
How did you identify the gap or opportunities in
How did you
parenting and
identify
branding
the gap
space?
opportunities in parenting and branding space? Okay, so I came to realize that parenting is something that is not learned, okay? And now parenting is something that really is rooted in my journey or in my story because I actually had some struggles with my parents. And now I was always telling was like, Mom, can you do this way, like this way? And my mom was like, shut your mouth. What are you saying? When you grow older, you understand. So I began to find answers, like better ways, like what what other strategies can be used to help children, to be able to connect with their parents. So by trying to get into this and make research on this, I realized that parenting in Africa is something that is not learned. Many people are not talking about it. We only have few coaches, and it's true that many parents are not really open to learn more and all of that. But I really realized that there is a true need, and that true need really stemmed from the fact that I had that need and I wanted it to be met, but it couldn't be. So that's where I actually found that there's a need. Yeah.
Okay, Ma. What were your
Okay,
first
Ma.
steps you took
What were
to
your
turn your
first steps you
idea
took
into a
to
real
turn your
business?
idea into a real business? Okay, so I think that the first thing that I did was that I sat down with my pen and book and I wrote down, like, what do I want to be known for? So I wrote down I wrote down three niches that I'm passionate about, and now I equally wrote down who do I want to serve. And now writing this down, it wasn't just about like the business, but about the long-term legacy that I want to create. So writing it down kind of made the dream more purposeful, more long-term. So I wrote that down, try to
Well
like
planned.
build my customer persona and all of that. Then now I think I took some courses. I got some trainings with some branding coach. Then I went to go and do a professional picture and I began creating content.
Okay, Ma. Did you face skepticism or doubt from people when you started, and
Did
how
you
did you deal
face
with it?
skepticism or doubt from people when you started and how did you deal with it? Yeah, especially here in our country. Welcome the idea, but nevertheless, they are still following on. Okay, despite the fact that they it's something new to them, they are just trying to see how this will get and not decide if it's something they want to venture in it or not.
Okay. My, in your opinion, what makes a personal brand in today's digital world? What makes a strong personal brand in today's digital world?
I think that what make a strong personal brand is the person behind the brand. Okay, and the person behind the brand is the story of that person, and that story is often unique and at times relatable to a set of people. So branding in in 2025 is all about the person behind the brand, their story and how it relates to their audiences and how the person can actually use that uniqueness and create aesthetically pleasant content, okay, that can impact the society.
Okay. How did you build your online
How did you build
community,
your
and
online
how did you
community
keep
and how
people
did you keep
engaged, like
people
your audience?
engaged, like your audience? Okay, so to actually build my community, I did invite them to join. Like when I began creating content, I'll often write down my link for people to click and join my community. where they get tools, strategies that can help them to solve little tensions that they face in their parenting and also branding. Okay, so that's how I began to build my community, and equally I join other communities, okay, of people doing the same thing, and
Okay.
being actively present in other communities. And that's how it got to grow my own community as well.
Okay. Now, can you share the
Now, can you share the
key
key
strategies that helped you grow
strategies that
your
helped you
brand
grow
presence
your
online?
brand presence online? Okay, so I think that the key strategy that helped me is actually the the projects that I've been engaged in. Okay, because to be able to stand out, it's not only about creating content or posting your picture. It also more about what you are doing, like what you are actively doing in that niche. For example, in parenting, for example, I do organize physical events, or I'm invited to go and speak in other events. Okay, so doing projects that actually show that you're an expert in that field is what has really helped me to stand out, and that can easily help another person to stand out.
Okay, Ma.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
entrepreneurship
So
journey is
entrepreneurship
smooth
journey
sailing.
is
Let's
smooth
dive into
sailing.
some
Let's dive into
challenges you
some
faced and how you
challenges you
overcome
faced
them.
and how you overcome them.
So, what have been your
So
biggest
what have been
challenge
your
as an
biggest
entrepreneur,
challenge as
and
an
how did you
entrepreneur, and
overcome it?
how did you overcome it? Okay, so I think that one of my biggest challenge is the fact that I set a goal and I'm not seeing the results when I expected it to come. So I think that the circumstances like this really frustrated me, and it just brought me back to start, going back to look at my strategy, like what went wrong, and why am I not seeing the result that I ought to have seen after applying this, that. I think that that's one of the most frustrating situations that I've been through. But now, how I overcame it by just slowing down, because at times, we can just be racing. I just feel I was racing, to get somewhere without actually being patient enough to go through the steps. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just had to slow
Makes a
down,
lot.
makes a lot. Stay positive,
Yeah.
and know that it's going to come with time. There's some results that come with time. Yeah.
Okay. How
Okay.
do you stay
How
motivated
do you
during
stay
tough times?
motivated during tough time? Yeah, during tough time is actually hard because your body wants to feel all that frustration, wants to give up, is feeling so bad. But now, what I usually do is that, sincerely, I just cry my heart out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of emotional, so I'll just take a moment where I'm alone, I'll cry, or talk to God, or pray, and just like leave everything in His hands, because when it's really that frustrating and you just feel like there's nothing that you can do to change the situation, you just have to let go of that emotion towards God, learn, and equally move on from that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what are the valuable
So, what are the
lessons
valuable
entrepreneurship has
lessons
taught you?
entrepreneurship has taught you? Okay, so I think that what I've learned is that growth begins with you. And that is something that in the beginning I didn't want to believe, or I don't know, I refused to believe. But the truth is that growth or change, what we desire that we want to achieve, it actually begins with us. It actually begins when we start changing our habits, when we start changing our emotions, and changing our mindset. Okay, now because we usually do the same thing, but we expect different results. When we change a particular habit, we get to see different results. So the work has to be done within us with us first before portraying anything out there, before asking somebody for something. You actually need to work on your emotions too. If before you were like um giving up maybe after 1 month or after some tries, you have or saying something negative when it did not work, now you know how to begin to train yourself to say something positive even when things are not going on well. And that what begins with you. And now when you do that, you're able to see growth. And now being able to change equally your mindset. I mean, growth begins with me before it even impacts others.
Yeah, that's really inspiring.
That's really
Now, something I
inspiring.
know people
Now,
watching will
something
want
I
to
know
relate
people
to is
watching will
how
want
you
to relate to
balance
is how you
family
balance
and business.
family and business. Yeah, I
So,
mean,
how do you
I'm a
balance family
wife. So how do you
responsibilities
balance
with
family
running a business?
responsibilities with running a business? Wife, mom of two, building my brand online, having my own family, sisters, aunts, and everything. I mean, to be able to balance everything, I think that when you are on the mountain, you know how to move on the mountain. So what I do is that I set time for everything. Okay, now when it's time to create content and engage, I focus solely on that. When it's time to be with the kids, I focus on that too. But there are also days that I multitask, that I can be cooking, replying to comments while the kids are taking breakfast. So some days are chaotic, some days are organized, but in the end, after a while you realize that you have shifted, you have moved. But nevertheless, there are hard days and there are days that are easy. So that's just how I balance everything.
Okay. How do you ever
Okay.
struggle
How do you ever
with
struggle
pressure,
with
juggling so
pressure,
many roles,
juggling
and
so
how do
many
you
roles,
manage it?
and how do you manage? Yeah, handling many things can be tasking because it's actually very demanding to be able to be doing many things at the same time. But now what I do is that I learn to regulate, because regulation is something that we learn in parenting. You need to know how to self-regulate your emotions. So you need like this me time where you rest, where you take deep breaths, or you do something for yourself, either get a massage or go run, sport. If I just do something for yourself, regulate your emotions so that you feel less tension, less frustration, and less stress. So you are able to manage everything. If not, you break. If not, you give up, because what we feel inside as entrepreneurs, as a mom, is actually huge, and now we need to learn how to manage our emotions.
Yeah, managing your emotions is very important.
Yeah.
Beyond income, how do you
Beyond
measure
income, how
success
do
in
you
your
measure
business?
success in your business? Okay, so beyond income, I think that any entrepreneur, and the mom that I am, is so pleased whenever I hear a parent say that you told me to apply this and I did and it worked. And think that that's what really makes me happy. And to be able to see true joy in the eyes of children, because I know what it means to be a child and to feel frustrated towards your parents' parenting. And whenever I see that glow in the eyes of kids, sincerely, how can I say, it's like an answered prayer. Then
Okay.
equally, when I see young people, young entrepreneurs, and even moms build their brand online and not sleeping on their gifts, talents, and profession, and doing something that can impact the world.
Okay. So, what advice would
Okay.
you give to
So, what
young
advice will you give
entrepreneurs,
to young
especially
entrepreneurs,
women who
especially
want to turn their
women
passion
who
into a
want to turn
business?
their passion into a business? Okay, what I would say is that if there is a time that you need to start, the time is now, not tomorrow. And the best time was actually months or years ago. So if you are listening to me right now, then you need to start, even if you don't have everything perfectly placed or you don't know everything, but it's often good to start. And when you start, you enjoy the journey, especially when you can look back to maybe your first post and see the growth. And now people can easily relate when they see the growth that you have gone through. So start, you know, get a coach that can help you to take your first steps and continue, keep going, create a content, build your brand, keep going, because in years to come, personal branding is going to be utmost important. So everyone, I advise everyone, no one should be behind when it comes to branding themselves online.
Okay. If you could go back to when you
If you
started,
could go
what would
back
you
to
do
when you
differently?
started, what would you do differently? Okay, I think that's what I'll do differently is that I'm going to write down the stories, because there are some stories that I feel like I had to share, but I didn't. And now, not being able to have portrayed those stories, I think that if I start all over, those stories are what I'm going to start with.
Okay. So,
Okay.
where do you see your
So
brand in the
where do you
next
see your
5 years?
brand in the next 5 years? Okay, so where I see my brand, sincerely, I want to organize physical gatherings for children so that they can showcase their talents and gifts, and equally physical gatherings for parents where they get to learn more about parenting. And I equally look forward to opening like an institution where I welcome children and parents for training, for quiet moments, for healing.
Okay, before you spoke
Okay,
about
before you spoke
taking
about
online courses, would
taking
you like
online
recommend
courses, would you
courses
like
to
recommend
young
courses
entrepreneur
to
out there
young
who
entrepreneur
would
out
want to
there
go
who would
into
want to go
personal
into
branding?
personal branding? Yes, I think that there are so many coaches that are out there. For example, here in Cameroon, we have Nana Lynn and myself too, who offer personal branding training. And even in other countries as well, like Nigeria, we have Aoma that equally offers training, and many others. So I recommend that you can go or go for the one that you know, okay, you know best, and then you have seen the results. So go for them, get their training, because very important, it will help you in your first step, and from there now you're just going to skyrocket.
Okay, so I wanted
Okay,
to speak to
so I
our
wanted to speak
viewers.
to
What do
our
you think they
viewers.
can
What do
add
you
to their
think they can
content
add
to
to their
drive
content
in
to drive
more
in
audience,
more
to
audience,
see
to see
their upcoming
their
branding and
upcoming
steps they can
branding
take
and steps they can take?
to
Okay, so I think that what needs to be done is to actually create quality content, meaning that how can I say, but content that will require investment, okay, that will help them to stand out. So if you want to create content, your content needs to have quality. Quality has to do with the audio, the visual, the environment in which you are creating the content needs to be rich, needs to have quality, and quality content will always drive traffic. So go for quality, invest for the quality, because it actually brings results.
Okay, thank you so much. That was an amazing session with me, Candy. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, your challenges, and those inspiring lessons on entrepreneurship. And to everyone who turned up in life, thank you for being part of the conversation. We got value today. Please hit the like button, share this life with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interview next week. Also, make sure you connect with me on Instagram at Mah Ekonde. Keep learning from my incredible work. Until next time, keep believing in your ideas, keep building, and remember, every big business starts with a simple step. See you next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.